Good day. My name is Matthijs Pinaar, Matt for short, and welcome to MJP Music Writer. Today what I want to do is I want to show you how I helped school bands win competitions all over the country for many, many years. In fact, internationally. There's some of these school bands, there's a particular one that 13 years in a row won their national competition with music that I wrote for them. I want to give you all my best tips and yeah, you can do the same. So let's get started. So if you look at your school in the beginning of the year, you'll see there on the left-hand side, you have all your instruments that you have for the school this year. Now maybe this year you have one piccolo, you have 2 flute ones or 3 flute ones, you've got 2 flute twos, and so many clarinet players, so many. I list them like on a score, I list them not per instrument group, but per player. What do I have this year? For 2025 in the Matt High School Band, I'm going to have these players because it differs. Maybe last year you had some players that left as seniors and you've got new players that come in, and I know no school band looks the same 2 years in a row. There's always changes. In fact, sometimes you have changes in the middle of a year. Now, I'm doing this in a graph. I don't really do this in a graph at home, but the principle I can show you based on a graph. So this is what I do. First of all, divide your players into by name. You know what they can do. You've had the auditions, you know them for a while, and you divide your players into what would be your beginners, your intermediate players, your advanced players. You could have more subdivisions if you want, but just the principle. So on a scale from 1 to 10, for illustration purposes, my beginners are maybe, if it's a brand new beginner, it's between a 0 and a 1, and it can go higher as they progress. Maybe you have 3-year players, that can play a grade 4, grade 3, grade 4. They're somewhere intermediate. And then you get your higher players that's maybe been in the band for 5 years or so, and they already can play, and you can give them solos, you can trust them with a good solo. So now you go through each instrument and you say, right, my piccolo player, it's about the top on the borderline between intermediate and advanced player right now. My first flute player is very, very good, can give solos to this player. Then I have 2 more first flute stand players that are on a high intermediate level. Then I've got maybe a beginner and intermediate player. And you go through your instruments, you can see here, oboe players, I have nothing this year. My oboe player left last year, had a good one, but yeah, unfortunately no part. It's going to be replaced because my soprano sax player is very, very, very good. And oboe soprano sax solos are interchangeable in a way. Your band will look different. Every band will look different. So don't copy this graph. Just go through the names, rate your players to see where they are, because this is the information that you will use. You may have string players, you may have guitar players, you may have anything from a kazoo to a bagpipe. I don't care. Let's see if you want to say a bagpipe is a musical instrument, but that's another debate. Just I'm going to cheat. I love bagpipes. Then, first of all, you write your music the best you can possibly for each instrument. So I know my piccolo player is good. I know where I can write his music or her music. Flute player, clarinet player, you write the music up to the level where you know they can handle. Doesn't help, especially if you buy published music, sometimes everything is going to be between 4 and 5, or they're going to be between 7 and 8, which means if everything is between 7 and 8 on this scale, your band can't play it looking like this. If everything is maybe between level 2 and 3 or 2 and 4 on this scale, your band will be able to play it, but you won't reach their full potential. So what I'm saying is you write your music per player for the best ability that they have using this. Then, and this is important, then you add that extra, call it 5%, 10% to each player. So you challenge each individual player to take it just a little bit higher than what they could do before. So just a little bit above his ability, but still reachable with hard practice. That's what you want. You want your players to be challenged, because next year is going to end where the green line is now, the end of this year, and you can start in a higher level. You have the best sound you can have from your band or your orchestra. You understand what I'm doing? So let's just go through it very quickly. Arrange for individual ability. Step 1. Then challenge each player a little. That's what the green parts were for. Number 3. Bake the best dish you can with what you have. If you don't have rosemary, use thyme. Sort of the same thing. I'm not a chef, but you get the idea. See what you can substitute and what can you do. If I cannot make a stew this year, but maybe I can make a soup or something else, or a casserole. Think about what you can do with the instruments you have. Do the arrangement the best you can for them. Then, this is important, keep every single player interested. Don't use this graph to decide, right, your players that are on an advanced level, they're going to be busy and they're going to do something fantastic all the time. And your player that's a beginner is going to do the offbeats. It's bad. Or just long notes all the way through. No, please don't do that. Keep every single player interested. You want to challenge him or her at his or her level and make sure that they have something to do, even if they just help with some counter melody or something that's important or some nice fill. Maybe not solo because it's in a beginner level, but let them help somebody. Every single player must be interested. You want them to come back to the next rehearsal. You want them to go practice that little part because there's something nice there and I feel important when I do this. It is important, especially with school children. They learn to write for the instruments you know less about. I've seen this so many times because the coach in this band, this particular band, was a violin player. So the violins are having these parts that look like and it's crazy all the time, and everybody else is just doing chips because the violins have the melody all the way through. Don't know what to do with saxophones, so the saxophones are getting off beats and the half notes and the whole notes. Don't do that. The instruments you don't know, take time, go read up about it. Stay on this channel. I'm going to teach you every single instrument. In any case, it's coming. Promise, it's coming. Learn more about the instruments because if you can write for the instrument, you can make their parts interesting, not only for the player, also for the audience. Use them. The more you know about your instruments, the more colors you will have. So don't write for only instruments that you've played maybe somewhere in a school band, and don't write for instruments because you know what to do, and the rest you just thumb suck and hope for the best. Learn. Then, this is the most important tip of all of this now. Because I knew the emails was going to come. If you do what we're saying, and you do what the graph here in the top left is saying, where you just write for the instruments that I have in 2025. Inevitably means in a few years from now, this arrangement you just did won't be usable because you're going to have different instruments. Because I lost this guy, and I lost this guy, and I lost this lady, and then by then you have a different band. So how do you overcome that bridge to make sure that this arrangement will still work 3 years from now? And 8 years from now, by doing a lot. So after you've done your arrangement, save it and you go through from the beginning. This is in your finishing. You go through from the beginning and you check, okay, this part that I wrote for the oboe, I'm also going to cue here. There's nothing with the soprano sax. You can also play and cue it here, cue it to every solo instrument you can. Cue a lot. Now you're not writing cues so that people can count and find their place. You're writing cues so that in 3 years' time you can say, okay, this year we don't have an oboe, soprano sax, just take that part please from there to there. I want you to play from C to D. So I'm hoping this is helpful. After that, what I need you to do, because this is only the one big tip for school bands specifically, but there are a lot of tips. Watch these videos above, where I give you proper orchestration tips, that will probably help you. Watch and enjoy and learn. Come back with your comments and your questions so that I can help you improve even more. Thank you very much.